This is the Night Wolf howling at you, and today we're going to take a look at the Masterverse, Masters of the Universe, New Eternia Teela figure. And I can already tell you there's problems with the head sculpt. On the side of the box here, we just see a continuation of the front image. On the other side of the box, we just see, well, we see Teela in her goddess costume and a nice headshot. Actually, that is beautiful artwork, I will say that much. And then we get to the back of the box here, and we see her in her goddess form. She's got two heads, a staff, spear. Teela, the heroic warrior goddess. Teela embraces her destiny as the avatar of the goddess of New Eternia in her quest to restore the power of Greyskull. Seriously though, New Eternia actually sounds like it has a pretty badass storyline, which made it just even more depressing when they did that comic for the New Eternia stuff. Or I should say, they did that Masterverse comic from Dark Horse. And it was just a stupid multiversal thing that focused on so many dumb shit things. You know what I mean? Like, we could have gotten a good, serious New Eternia story, and we got garbage. Well, let's go ahead and open her up. Here. On the side of the box here, we do see she comes with a shield, 2 extra hands, the Staff of Ka, and a spear. It shows the headdress not attached to the head. Actually, there's a good question here. Is the headdress a separate piece, or is it a separate head altogether? Guess we'll find out. It is just a headdress. I don't like the color of it. Wow, this does not look good. Let's go ahead and put her on a stand real quick. Oh, God. Oh, she is just effed up. And this isn't like, oh, Jesus Christ, look at this thing. Her skirt is glued on sideways or some shit. I don't know if there's a way to fix that problem or not. Hold on. I was concerned earlier about the head sculpt, but I wasn't expecting the skirt piece to be an issue. If you look at this, it's kind of angled a little bit like this, and it's enough that you can see it. And I'm trying to... Okay, the skirt piece will move separately from everything else, so maybe we can line it up properly-ish. The problem is there's still an angle to this thing. Like, I don't know if the molding is wrong or something, but I mean, you can see that with the legs there, where it's up higher on this side than this side. And then just looking at the way it sits here, it's not quite right. So maybe, can I pull this forward some more? I don't know, maybe some heat treatment on this thing would make it loose enough to kind of move around better. Like, if this was Origins, you know, I could just pop the middle part out and, you know, just try to fix it that way, but that's not how it's happening here. So, I don't know if this is a common issue with the Teela figure or not, but if it is, this is crap already. Oh my God, I forgot. They removed... I remember they removed the double jointed elbows, but I forgot that they were removing the bicep cuts on the female characters too. Good Lord. Well, let's go ahead and do a quick comparison here with Evil Lynn, just so that we can get that part done. because they share the same set of boobs. Their arms are the same, their legs are the same, their feet are the same. The hand's probably the same too, although she comes with fists and not a magic hand. So the head sculpt is different, and the belts are different, and the torso part is different. That's it. Now again, they reused all of this, so it would have been more worth their while to go ahead and just give us the freaking bicep cut and double jointed elbows like they used to have. I don't like the way that they're cheaping out on this stuff. To be honest with you, it really annoys me. They painted her in such a manner that she looks like her cleavage is more presentable than on Evil Lyn. I mean, it's the same torso, but she looks like she definitely has more cleavage than Evil Lyn does. So there's that. I mean, that's a bonus. But again, nothing is really sitting right on this figure. I really hate that. Alright, so already this figure's off to a bang up start. Where again, nothing seems to be lining up properly. She comes with a shield. I believe this is a new shield in the Masters of the Universe Masterverse line. 2 grips. Oh yeah, they didn't paint her fingernails either. They painted Evil Lyn's, but not Teela's. That's kind of craptastic too. Now this is going to be one of those things where we'll have to take the hand off. Hook it around the shield handle, like so. Then put it back in like that, if we want to have it properly held. Now again, we have the Staff of Ka. Her more traditional weapon with her original figure. And of course, we can't move the arm around like we usually used to get in a really nice position for display because, hey, we removed a bunch of articulation from the female figures because we're a sexist company. Or we can put the spear in her hand. I think it's funny that once they started kind of like separating the goddess and Teela as much as they did, I mean, they did in the original comics too, but the goddess is usually shown with a spear and Teela's shown with a staff or a sword. I'm surprised they didn't give us a sword. I mean, if they're going to remove the articulation, you might as well give us a sword too. But take the shield off. Let's see how the headpiece fits on here. I bet this is going to work like crap too. Oh, for fuck's sake. You see that? That thing folded over when I tried to put the mask on. The headpiece. So yeah, I think there's a reason why Classics had put gave us a whole different head for the headdress. It's because this really sucks trying to get that on there. And then look how far. Let's get her hand out of the way. Look how far up that sits from the rest of her torso. That looks terrible. And then of course if we try to push it down, the whole thing comes off. I'm just going to straight out say they did a really shitty job on this figure and her accessories. Now, it could just be the one I got. You know, I'm not going to say that everybody's is like this. But between this and this is absolute garbage. And I am so glad I did not order a second one for display purposes. You know what I mean? Because with a lot of these characters like Teela, I'll have one to display with both the with and without the headdress. Forgot. Just burn that thing, shall we? Well, let's talk about our articulation now more fully, shall we? Okay. Head's just on a ball joint. Neck peg. We can look up and down. We can wiggle a little to the side and spin it around. Oh yeah, before we forget, let's take a look at that head sculpt. They gave us eye wonk. Or they tried to position the eyes. It looks like she's kind of like... It looks like she's rolling her eyes is what it looks like to me. But what do you guys think? Does it look to you like she's got rolling eyes? And she does have a ponytail. That looks nice. Honestly, that looks pretty good. I'm not too much of a fan of how they set those eyes up in there. So we can spin our arm around, and we can raise it. I'm surprised I haven't removed that articulation yet on the female figures. No bicep cut, as discussed earlier, because Mattel is sexist. Single joint at the elbow, because Mattel is sexist. We can spin it, though, because it is a peg. See, this is what they think, you know. If we remove the bicep cut and put a peg in here, that works just fine. Except for, again, you can't fold the arm all the way up, which throws off a lot of positionings you can do with the body. We do have the boob cut, obviously. And we can wiggle that a bit. We have a waist swivel. And just swiveling the waist has thrown the skirt piece off again. Oh, this thing is such craptastic garbage. We do have drop down hips. I'm surprised. We can spin her leg at the thigh. They've decided to leave us the double jointed elbow and the knee, so they're giving us that at least still. And we have a spin at the boot, and a hinge down here, and a spin down there as well. So this month's Collecticon for Walmart is going to be offering a vintage version of Teela. Now, we know that the vintage versions of the rest of the characters have had different body sculpts and everything, but I'm not sure how much different that they're really going to be able to make this new Eternia version compared to the original one, because there's not much here that would be that different from the vintage one. And I am just not happy with this figure to start with. I think this is one of the worst Teela figures we've gotten. Like, I think it's even worse than the first Revelation figure where, you know, Teela's got the awful Karen hairdo going on. And some of this could just be this figure that I have here in hand itself. Like, maybe that skirt piece is fine on all the other ones. But the removal of the articulation in the arms, that's going to be line wide. The way that headdress sits on her head, that's probably going to be line wide as well. I mean, there's a chance it could be just this figure and that headdress is screwed up somehow. But it's probably going to be throughout the entire run of these figures. And I think that's just trash. I don't like it. I think this is one of the worst purchases I've made in Masterverse thus far, which is kind of sad because for New Eternia, a lot of the updates, while not that far from vintage, have all been pretty nicely done until you get to this figure. Well, okay, Evil Lynn had a lot of the same problems, let's be honest. The removal of the articulation is just, I consider that to be a sin, you know, because they're only really doing it to the female characters. Okay, some of the larger male characters, like Snout Spout and the Horde Trooper, fine. I'll give you that they removed some of that articulation on them too, but not quite as much. I believe they kept the bicep cuts. They just got rid of the double jointed elbow because their arms are so huge or some crap like that, that it wouldn't have made that much of a difference. But in case of the female characters, it would. But that's my thoughts on this. Why don't you guys tell me what you think in the comments below? I hate that face. I think it's terrible. Sorry, I just thought about that again. It would have been nice if they'd at least given her some brighter lipstick or something again to go with it. But if you enjoyed listening to me bitch about this figure, please feel free to smash that like button. And if you want to hear more of my nonsense in the future, possible complaints, you can subscribe. I thank you for watching. Peace and love.